let's go. I got a question, gi, no gi. For me, it doesn't really matter. Often in my class, when I teach in my gym, even in the gi class, I often take my jacket out to show the technique because it's easier to see the posture, I think. And this being said, I think as a beginner, you should roll gi, but do no gi grips. Because if the jacket is out, you should be able to fight like that as well. And why do I add the gi? Because it's easier to learn with gi than no gi. Because gi has friction, goes slower. In my head, gi is easier to learn to attack, but more difficult to escape. If you don't add lapels and sheathing, like putting your feet in the belt and feet in lapels, which I don't think you should be doing, like to escape at least, you can attack, then I don't think you should be, then gi is easier to attack, so it makes you like learn, give you an easy way to attack, and it makes it more difficult to defend. It should be, you know, like you should learn your defense first, and then later no-gi make it more defense. You can roll pure no-gi, which is more difficult to attack and way more easier to defend. Agree, no? Well, even if you don't, I think it is this way. I'm gonna talk about the arm triangle. Okay, let's first show how not to do it and how to escape the most common way how they do it. Who is good in arm triangles here? So who likes arm triangles? Can you do on me, please? I want to see what you do. I'm not gonna say, don't kill me, okay? I just want to feel what you're doing. Okay? So go to it. Okay, good. Look, so for the first thing I want to talk about, lay down please. What do on me please? A very common escape people use to do triangles, to arm triangles, and it kind of works no-gi when you're sweaty. Not now, but let's see. They often try to roll into it, and this might slip sometimes. You might get in, boom, but in this moment, the guy on top often will jump over to the other side, right? I think in general, it should never be rolling. Like I think, like in Prit's class, like the perfect summation of all the movements you should be doing. I think never roll. Every time you get attacked or get up in an arm block or a choke, is usually because you roll from one side to the other. And a roll is easy to stop because all you have to do to stop the roll is to stop your shin and you cannot really roll anymore, right? So when someone takes arm triangle, let's do the escape first, then we know how to get out. Okay, look, first things first. I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna tap here, but what he wants to do is to close the gap between, well, where I'm inside, right? So try to start closing it, please. Yeah. And here I'm in trouble. So the first thing I'm gonna do when someone arm triangles me is make a frame or a brace with his arm over here. Make sure the space between my arm and between my shoulder and my neck stays maximal. And this hand can reinforce at this moment. And now it's gonna be the same thing as yesterday. You can roll away or you can roll in. When I have a choice here, I always roll in for this one because like also with Pritzka, it's not a problem if you roll away, if you have both grips. But in this case, because I already lost one of my arms, if you start rolling away, it's quite difficult also to start giving my back and other things. So I prefer here to roll into him. Well, not roll, but I do the same movement as yesterday. There is two ways how he can put his hip. He can put his hip like he's doing right now, or he can be laying down. Lay down first, please. I'm going to explain that one first. So when I'm here, I brace myself, put the fist, and I'm going to look into him and bridge, do the same bridge as yesterday. So you try to arm triangle now. Yeah. Not impossible. Like people who are very strong, I mean, it's not a good position to be in any case. They can still crush you. But at the very least, I've got like a chance to escape. What you should never, ever do in your life is hip escape. Because it closes the whole gap. It's the same mistake I talked about yesterday from the side put rule. Never hip escape in that way. So put pressure on your elbow, or like don't push him away, but brace yourself. Get your fist here. Now here, post the foot, turn in. And now look, where is my knee gonna be? Yesterday I showed to be on the ground. But in this case, if he goes on like here, he can start slide to knee on belly. Slide to knee on belly, please. And I don't want to give that ear, especially not with this choke being there. So what I like to do here is to connect my hips, again like before, post, and start bridging here. See now over here, my hand can start to dig in and relieve some of the, just stay please, just stay. I can relieve some of the pressure. And now my elbow will slide, no, don't move please, okay? Here, my elbow will slide and now I can start attacking the structure of his neck by starting to bend him. And I keep bridging over. And usually here I get my hand back inside and I keep bridging. How long do I bridge? As long as I need it. Look, from here I can do a number of things. I can do the same thing as yesterday, switching my leg as before. See? And start attacking his back. Or what else I can do from here is once I'm in here, see, often here they start to go up to take knee on belly because my hip is, no, listen to what I said, okay? When I'm here, you can start going knee on belly, go knee on belly, but look, go back one step. If I'm down and you go knee on belly, there is no more space for me to move, I'm already stuck. Go back. But if I keep my hip raised here and looking into him, and he goes knee on belly now, look, he has to go very high to get knee on belly, go, 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 and that's when I drop, and I can catch a half guard over here. Everybody got it? Or have to show again?
The other side.
Sorry?
The other side.
The other side. I will do, but it's better if you walk around. Because there's like many sides over here, but well, I will turn, okay? One back. Go here, please. So, this side is okay? Yeah. But if the reward to send me the video. Really? Yeah. Okay, great. So here, first things first, don't get yourself crushed here. First, frame your elbow, get your fist here, post your foot, right? From here, look into him and start putting, like at very least, don't give in what you already conquered here. If he gets me here, then I will have to work a bit harder. Now, a very interesting thing is this. In Jiu-Jitsu, I think you should never push him away. So look, put pressure, please. You can stop me from pushing you away, right? But what you cannot stop is me bracing and moving myself away, right? So I'm actually now doing the making space. I do by moving my shoulders away. If I don't use my frames, then I'm just moving around like a dead fish. Well, a live fish who is about to die, actually. But I'm gonna brace my elbow. Put pressure, please. Here, brace and look away into him and make the space between ourselves as big as possible. Now from here, we're gonna start to bridge. You put your elbow in the back of his head. See, like start opening here. I keep bridging it. Now 2 scenarios here. He stays. Look, never, ever, ever try to step over because you lose contact with the floor. Stay please where you are. You keep bridging. And again, like yesterday, you move into it. I always imagine I'm rolling with a statue. You should never be moving your partner. And if you do move him, it's either with a shoulder pressure a little bit or with hip pressure. But most of the time, I'm trying to just smoothly move around your partner and always keep connection. Right? Nobody likes that guy that starts pushing in your face when you're rolling. Nobody likes it, right? Does anyone like this? No. No, and that's, well, it's still a little bit, in competition you sometimes do it because I see jiu-jitsu like this. I see jiu-jitsu like trying to opening a door. If you're in your house and the door is closed and you've got all the time in the world and you lost your key, what do? You start looking in your house, you look for your key and you open the door. And what do you do when your house is on fire? What? You kick the door, you kick the window, you do whatever necessary to get out. Competition is like when your house is on fire. Competition when you're losing is when your house is on fire. And you have to sometimes, well, if there's no time left, you can push his face and kick in the door. But you should not be doing this with your training partners. Because you can replace the door, well, you can also replace your training partners, but eventually you're gonna run out. So don't push your training partners too much. And they will also do the same thing to you. So, and the second one, so it starts with the same thing. You put the pressure here. Look, and what I like to do, I like to go a little bit higher on his head. Because here I can start attacking the structure of his neck. But in the beginning, we'll close it. So we'll bridge. So you go in, you start turning in, sneak the elbow through here. And now, first one was, here I'm gonna switch my legs, keep my hip high all the time. Second one, he goes to knee on belly. So go back one step, because so go to knee on belly, he goes high. I sneak my knee through the door here. My left foot, if he didn't hide his ankle, I will step over his ankle here, then twist the knee back in. See? Now I control his knee over here. And this could later lead for me into like one of those sweeps. Either it goes to go to the back, or we keep that, holding both into a sweep like this. And then we can switch and go on trying ourselves. So first do this one, and then I will show you how I choose to attack it. Okay? Thank you very much. Look at my hips. From here. I see a lot of people laying like this, no connection between the hips. This is very dangerous because right here, well, it is dangerous because here he can go knee on belly if he likes. He can go mount if he likes. See? And I have no way to sense this, right? What I always imagine is this. Imagine, stop please for a second. Imagine you're blind. Imagine you're a blind grappler rolling in darkness. What is the one thing you don't want when it's dark?
Loose connection.
Loose connection, exactly right. When I roll with my eyes closed almost all the time, just because I want to feel the opponent, and also because I don't want to get knees and fingers in my eyes. That's another reason. I like to fight close, and that's where it happens. So I like to roll up with my eyes closed, and then you're forced to move and feel what they're doing. And also, if you're not I cannot be not looking if if no connection. But once I connect and you start making fake movements, you're not going to react to his fakes either, because you're just concentrating on what you're feeling. And all you need is like one hand or one elbow, and you know where the rest is on that moment already, right? So when you're here for back twist, see, you really should always connect your hips. Your hip is your strongest body part, right? It's the only thing capable of almost moving any weight that they're going to put on me. If I cannot move it with my hips, it's over, right? And if I move this away, then I'll lose the connection. It's very easy. Either my hip goes close, or my shoulders go close. I cannot move both away at the same time. If I had wheels, maybe I could, but I cannot like that. So he puts pressure. I'm gonna brace and save what I had first. Look my elbow here, and I'm gonna look into him. See, look, don't hip escape. Really resist the urge to do this. Turn the knee a little bit and start looking into it here. And now you start opening your elbow. This hand here can alleviate some of the pressure at this point. Not always needed, but it helps you to survive. There's no fast escape here. It will really take some time to get out here. And you can start opening your, no, stays, I say. And start opening your elbow. If he stays, just start attacking the structure of his neck. See? Not by pushing, but like by adding pressure on my hip. And then you wait. The moment my foot loses the ground, see, he's able to pull me back in. And I have to reset. So I stay here, make the frame, bridge, see? Slide your feet and you start going over. That's one scenario. The other one, he gets to his knees. See? You can go underneath, step over, and use your hip to sprain it out. He will usually go on overhook at this point. Overhook, yeah. Overhook. And you will get up. And then you're in. Eddie Bravo, because of the dogfight position, which I really like. Want to try again? Or should we? Okay, try again please, go. So very important is you guys learn how to properly bridge. And I told about in my class yesterday, when most people bridge, they go up and they twist like that, and you will sprain your ribs often in this case. So what you gotta do when you bridge is go sideways, bridge here, and now you just slide your feet to the other side. You start opening, and then you're here. It's just a way for going how to go from back to turtle, right? Why is it important not to roll? Just if you think about it, not even rolling like without jiu-jitsu. Look, imagine you put 20 kilo, or like 100 kilo on this hip and 100 kilo on this hip. If I start rolling, it's hard for me to take this weight away. But what I'm actually trying to do is roll in the same spot. So I'm here, you bridge, and I move in the same spot. Who's the heaviest guy here in the gym? Here. Then show me a very heavy, like who's very heavy? Who weighs 100 kilos here in the gym?
I'm 88.
Come here, please. Come here. And you assist him, please. Okay. So look, I'm going to show you something. It's very important not to put your shoulders on the mat. Okay. So you lay on the ground first, please. Okay. And you're going to assist me. Look, I'm going to stand with my both feet on one shoulder, and you're going to raise. And you're going to raise this shoulder from the ground. This shoulder. Yeah, well, be strong. Okay, do it again. Okay, it's quite good. Look, so look. You can put any weight on this shoulder. So you stand on me, you assist him. Look, and I'm always going to be able to raise his shoulder. Look, first of all, if I try to turn in, it's hard. If I look away like this, see, it's always super easy to get this shoulder up. There is no way you can do this. And why is this? Because I'm using my hip in this case. If I'm trying to roll, it's hard. Look, put pressure. If I hip escape, it's even worse right now, this pressure. If you look away, you can always start lifting the shoulder up. And that's the reason why I do this move. Okay? So now let's go to the attack. You stay here? Okay. Look. Lay your back please with your head over there and your feet over here. And closer. Yeah. First of all, when I attack the arm triangle, I never attack it from side control. Not never, but I prefer to attack it from the mount. A long story how I end up in mount. That's not what my class is about. But what I really like is always to wrap the both legs up. Did anyone see the Khabib and McGregor fight? Like that's what I always try to do. Like put the both legs together. It can go with the hands. It can be like this. I often step over. It can be these hands. At this point, people start pushing my head, and often you get like a reset because I plop the knee out, and then okay, you go again. You reset. And like against a good guy who's fresh and starts pushing my head, I often need like 5 or 6 resets before I get past. But at the very least, even if the match stays 0-0, I should win the fight by decision. If I'm losing on points, I made probably a mistake in the past, and then I have to speed up a little bit, but that's my fault in the past. And if he, look, the only thing I think is very hard to beat is a stiff arm, right? But if the thing at the very least, look, if he's stiff arming me and I go sideways, look, stay please, here. He pushed me away. He cannot really push me away in this angle, right? If I start turning my head first here and you keep it, I can use this elbow to get up and keep pushing, and now is when he gets the knees out. So for me, there is no solution for this problem. There is no solution for the stiff arm, except be stubborn and insist. Listen to his breathing and make sure to keep. I always try to keep like breathe calm, and if I hear him, that's when I know it's going good, right? And like if I'm end up here and I'm fighting for this, like the match, if it stays 0-0, I should win because I'm always been attacking. And maybe it depends on the ref, but it's what he's thinking at least. So he's more inclined to get out first than me. So if he starts pushing and he puts himself on the side, see, that's when you slide it quickly and you go in. See, and when you're in, that's when you start climbing the guy. Look, so how do I climb? Give me a leg, please. See, I lift it up here, lift and switch little by little. Like often people will still push and try to get away. So I try to get at least one shoulder and try to get in. Like I try to control the both shoulders and then little by little start crawling up. I'm not going to go over this part. You just wrap the legs up, be patient and insist. And in the end it's like wrestling actually, because in wrestling, if you get one shoulder up, you still didn't lose. So I should be crawling, and my goal is to put the both shoulders on the ground and get high enough. Now once I arrive in mount, look, very often here, look, when I control the both arms here, like my 2 games for mount are getting high. Wrapping these both arms up, going high here. Go for an arm bar. Another game could be, I do the same thing, he scoops one arm out, go over, he starts rolling in, go to a triangle from here. And the third option, which I use the most, is the arm triangle. No, so it's not a beach. So keep your legs up. Yeah. Sorry, go back for a second, please. No, look, when I'm here, first of all, I like to keep my legs here a little bit crossed. So here, look, I like to keep them here. If you start going on your side, see, often, see, if you go, I'd like to bring my foot, relax a bit over and under, and control the knee in this case. The one thing I really don't want is this knee plopping out, because then I lost the mount and have to re-go again. So it's really like a battle with the feet over here. Like who likes mount? Everybody should be like a mount, but for a whole while it was like the custom. Like people were talking like this, like they would take mount for getting the 4 points, and then get back to side control because side control is easier to keep. Who is in this case?
The Danish guys.
Sorry?
The Danish guys.
Sorry?
The Danish guys from Denmark. It's a Danish guy, and it's a Danish game.
They do this, yeah?
Yeah.
I used to do it for a while as well, but I said, look, there is something wrong. I should be able to keep the mount indefinitely. And what I don't like anymore, of course, if you go to a mount and the other guy has perfect posture, it's almost impossible to keep the mount. But if you go step by step and keep attacking, it's not that difficult to keep, right? Now, the arm triangle. So, keep your legs up a little bit, please. So I'm fighting the legs here, this is a leg game all the time. If he tries to get out, I often go to this posture over here. Now, very often here, what he will try to do is close his both elbows. No, close your elbows. No, that's your elbow. No, what you mean? Close your elbows. Yeah, this is very dangerous. If he traps me like this, he will bridge, and that's, well, not good for me. Look, what I should never, ever, ever do is this. Never put your both hands on the floor like this. Do you guys know why? Does anyone know why I should not be doing this?
Maybe easier to pick up.
Well, look, don't do it now, but very slowly bridge to one side, very slowly. Look, I will really break my fist here if I get stuck. So don't do that. If I do trap you, right, then catch and open your, like, close your elbows, yeah, then go a bit lower again. Look here, I keep tight, I cannot open my elbows, and here you can bridge me. So what I can do is brace, keep tight, I can brace myself and move myself backwards, and I can start re-crawling again. So little by little by little, I try to crawl up. Close your elbows. I call this a spider. You crawl little by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, and try to connect your both hands over his ears. After this point or before, he will often start putting more, like put your Close your both elbows at the same time. It's hard, right? Close one. Yeah. This is my bad side, so I usually resist this one until they push on the other side. Yeah. And then I flop my arm out over here. Now for the arm triangle itself, look, you're gonna start sneaking underneath the head. And the first thing I need over here, look, keep your elbow closed. Look, yeah. I want to keep spidering this hand the entire time. And I want to get, with this hand, a very high and tight grip in the shoulder over here. Every time I get inside, I pull him a little bit back and crawl a bit more. Pull back, crawl a little bit more. Once you get the arm this far, this is like 1 second, 1 split second you lose control. It's only 1 split second. You're here, you have to plop with your hand over here. Often I lose it, that's not a problem because in mount you cannot stall. It costs him a lot of energy just to resist it. So sometimes it takes me 1, 2, 3 tries. I don't really care. I go. And look, and this hand over here, high in the armpit. See, close your elbow. You can close it, but it's kind of harder if I catch here. So I keep going, catch, and block with my hand, hopefully fast enough. That's it. Once I'm here, I'm gonna put my head on the floor. Look at my shoulder. My shoulder should never be underneath his shin. It should be right on top of his shin. Yeah, not on the throat, but on the shin. Right? Chin. I block the elbow here, and I'm gonna put my head on the floor. Now it's time to start using your hips. Look, what you should never be doing is this. Close your elbow, please. I should never be going to the side straight away here. Because look what amount of space there is, and you can start bridging into me, like I showed before. And I'm never gonna get it, this one. So, like in bridge class, what did bridge say? You have to attack during the transition, correct? So I have to convince him to do the transition for me. So what I'm doing from here, the first, and this is until here you're gonna try, you're gonna post your hand on the floor, post your both feet to a tripod. I'm not doing this, not pushing over, I'm staying on top. You're gonna look sideways and start putting pressure just on your shoulder. How does this feel? Look here. Try to bump me, please. Bump. Go to the other side. And here often I stay literally you should be willing to stay a whole match here. If he's not moving, I'm not gonna move. But in mount, you cannot stall. You're usually winning on points. And there is no actual reason to submit someone from here. What you can also do to add pressure is drag him a little bit. See? Post, put your head on the floor, tripod, and now from here start turning. If people are flexible with their feet, I can also put my knee on here, and I keep turning. It's like the yoga pose, like this. Got it? So. Again, or is it okay? Sorry?
This should be the finish, or?
No. It's the first part, and then we go to the actual triangle. Because this one, nobody taps for this. Well, sometimes they do, but... Okay. So you control the legs, start crawling high. Bam. Wrap the head up. Wait till it pushes on the side you prefer the most. Get your arm out. Go through, catch high into the armpit. Now here, you can go with your hand. And you can sometimes I go with my head straight away. Both work. Here, you pull your arm away. Post. Put your head on the floor. Here. Don't push over. Stay down. Make sure when your butt goes up, all your pressure goes straight into the ground. That's it. See, try to bridge here. It's hard. See? And then the next thing, I'm going to explain in a minute. Okay? Let's try it, please. One thing they ask me is should I put my shoulder on the beard, or like on the chin, or on the throat? Where should I put it? Well, look, sorry? On the chin. And why on the chin? Why not on the throat? Sorry? Yeah, look, when you're blocking someone's head like this, you're actually blocking the structure. He cannot turn into you anymore. He cannot bridge to the side he wants anymore, right? If you put your shoulder on someone's throat, right? Okay, it might be a choke, but you're never going to be able to keep it a long time. Look, he's gonna react to this, and if you don't block his structure, he can bump to the side where he really wants. Like in general, when I'm choking, like, does anyone have a gi here? Over here, please. Look, I promise to make all your chokes a little bit tighter today, right? So, look, you have to make a difference between pressure and compression. A choke is not pressure. It's pressure and compression is kind of the same thing, but not completely. Look, if I put pressure on someone, so this is pressure. Keep your hand here. So wait. This is pressure. Me moving your hand away. If my pressure results in me moving you away, there is no compression. Understand what I'm saying? What is compression is like a nut cracker. You have to do this. You have to bring the both sides together and slip it in, right? I'm going to show the arm triangle for 1 second standing. When I'm here, look, and I go to his side, if I put often when people put chokes, they start pushing into him and they actually move their partner. If you see movement, then it means the choke is not tight. If you want to make a choke tight, okay, you have to connect your arms first and then start connecting your chest little by little. And then it will get tighter, right? So why your arms first? Look, if imagine this, if you have a chain and you pull the chain will always break on the weakest link, correct? Okay, look. In any system that you grab someone, the grips are always the weakest link in the chain. My grips, my hands and my feet. My 2 feet crossing or my two feet heading together. If you get tired from holding close guard, what is getting tired? The bottom of your legs, never your hips, right? So look, if I'm here, and if I put pressure on my chest first and then start pulling with my arms, now I'm starting to put pressure with the weakest part of my chain. Yeah? What I should be doing first is catching, put as much like tightness in my arms as I can, and then I start going close with my chest and my whole body, and I don't get tired. It's true for foot locks, it's true for arm bar, it's true for everything. To make it really simple to understand, lay down please. It actually goes for all submissions. What are you doing? Look, lay down. If you're getting an arm bar, get your arm tight please, just with one arm. Here, what am I doing first? Stretching my hip, or connecting my arms first, taking it with me, and then holding completely in the end, I bridge my hip up to put the lock, right? There's another reason for this. Like it's more effective and it's more safe for your partner as well, right? Imagine you're pulling a stick out of the ground, right? And using it with your arms. What will happen? This will always happen. And I hope it happens I hope this happened already one time in your life, that you hit yourself with the guy's hand. Happened once and I say, okay, it's not correct. So if you keep your arm tight here, and I start pulling with my hands are always too much or not enough. They're never correct. See, if I'm here and he lets go, he will hit my face, which is not so bad. Well, I get like a soft warning. But the worst thing is if I'm going here, whack, you will break his arm if you go like that. So what you should be doing always is like attack. I could give like arm bar attacks as well, but you should be making an angle, see? And use your hip always, with your whole body to bring the arm away, see? Look, close your arm please. And no, just with one arm. Look. And at 1 second, I'm gonna start putting a lot of strength in your arm, right? Keep it 100% tight. And I'm gonna be pulling, and at 1 second you're gonna relax. Nothing really much happened. But if I'm pulling here, and it does the same thing, I will hit my own face with his arm. So never do that. Same thing goes for leg locks. Like this is like really I knew this part that I'm explaining right now. I knew it for all my submissions, but I never did it on leg locks. And then some guy in my gym told me, hey Wim, when you're doing your leg locks, you're putting first pressure on hips and then you're, okay. So first for leg locks, the same thing. Get a super tight grip on the foot, adjust it, get it super tight. It almost hurts with the bone itself. And then just got adding a little bit of hip pressure. And then it's over, right? Now, another thing about chokes in general, look, why you should be always, come closer please. And then we go back to the triangle. It's just a general concept. When you're trying to, from mount for example, and you're taking the regular choke, what will usually happen? You go here, right? They catch your hand, right? You try to go here, but since this hand, well, you should actually block a bit lower, block my hand itself, dig in deep. Always, look, in general, if you get a grip, look, this is not a grip, I can still move. Exaggerate your grip. Get it super tight, no, exaggerate deeper, and now bring the elbow to your hip. See, and now, get your elbow, yeah, see, now my arm is stuck, right? You just put your hand on my arm here. You're not getting me here stuck that much. But always do this, exaggerate, and then bring it back. That's the only reason why I open my elbows. Now it's not there. And then you go with this hand over here, and that's when they bump you, right? Because he's one step behind, and that's why he's one step ahead. Makes no sense, I think, but okay, look. What I try to do also when I choke is go over, like, wait 1 second. I go over, and I block his face first. And I make it super annoying for him to be here. And I will grind you the whole match. There's only one way for you to alleviate this pressure. What can you do? Well, you can start to expose your back. But what I'm waiting for actually over here is them to open their chin. Open your chin. That's where, see, and then they put the choke. They're fighting for something that I want. So the principle, if you're blocking someone's face here, and you keep your position, I like to stay here a lot, see? And then he opens his face, that's when you go for the choke, right? So now we're gonna do the same thing. So again, when do you attack during the transition. And you make him transit. Like, So I've never been good in attacking during transition because you have to be fast for it a little bit. And the jumping stuff, like this happens also. But I always, I can do attacking in transitions with guys when I'm faster and stronger. But I always think an example of my wrestling coach from Dagestan, right? I'm never able to submit him on the go or take him down fast. I always have to like little by little convince him into giving me what I want. That's like the only way I can sweep him or submit him. So I always try to get tight and put pressure and make you just very uncomfortable and to make you to convince you to give up the structure for myself, right? Mm-hmm. I would love to be fast and attack anyone, but fast is always subjective. There's always someone faster than you, and that's the problem, right? So we go one. Any questions so far? No. So, one. Why do I like to keep the elbows here? The feet in his knees for a few things. Bridge, please. Look, this is not bridging. This is not bridging. This is going berserk. Yeah. And you will you will get on top sometimes, but it will be at the cost of some energy, right? And this is where people start getting. Don't do stuff like this when you're training. Don't do it. It's waste of your energy. Does it look cool? Sorry. Does it look cool when you're doing this? No. If you don't look cool, it's not good. I'll take it. If you like doing like this and this and this, you're already hurt by those 3 times right now, and nobody likes it, and you're just not doing yourself a favor. Imagine you're going swimming into the water. Jiu-jitsu and swimming is just the same thing. You go into the water, you start doing like this. Huh? Look. Well, it's just a little bit better than nothing at all. Because then you drown, right? Yeah. But actually, like if your position is correct, like bridge choke, then doing nothing at all is actually very good. Like if you know how to float, you can just like with a little bit of movement with your hands, you can stay afloat. That's what you should try to earn. So don't choose for the quick way out, choose for the elegant, smooth way out. It should always be looking good. So if he starts putting his hip pressure, see, I always mirror him. If he goes, gently, look, gently, go back, look. If he puts pressure on this hip, no, you're not listening. Very gently put pressure on this hip. So it means you bump over there. I'm gonna put pressure on the same hip. And like in a mirror, he turns left, I turn left. I put here, I put pressure here. That's how he gets him stuck here. So we start again here. We start crawling. I like to start slower. Sorry, stop moving now. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go in over here. Catch his head. See. Wait, look, I'm not gonna move myself. If I move myself, catch my hand, okay? Catch. And he's out again. So I have to wait here and convince him. Well, he will want to get out, so he will put pressure on either of his arms. This is my good side. So I always wait to put pressure on this arm over here. Put pressure, please. Close your elbow. And that's when it flops out quickly. And you catch him again. And go super deep into the armpit. Position yourself a bit lower, keep it tight. Use your head. And now, little by little, start grinding the arm inside. Like I said before, you have to convince him. The shot I'm going to do right now, I'm actually convincing him to open his chin and turn to the wrong side. So while I'm here and I catch him, post my hand on the floor, now I start to tripod and I put my knee over his hip, because if I let him free, they can go to butterfly often. So I'm here. And now look, I'm going to add pressure. Sometimes people tap for this. Look. Now, the first movement I showed was bridging over here. Do a gentle bridge, please. It actually, does it put more or less pressure on your face? Sorry? More, yeah. So now the correct movement to escape, what I showed before, adds more pressure on his face. It's still the correct thing to do, but it puts a lot more pressure on his face. And if I can make him uncomfortable and stay here forever, look, now he's only left with one option. That is open his face and turn to that side. Look, and now the tricky part comes. This is the difficult part of the class. If I'm here, look, very gently, open your chin and start rolling away. Look. Free, roll. I let him roll inside. Wait. Look, I let him roll inside of me. As long as this shoulder is on this side of that shoulder, he can always return whenever he likes. I have to wait until he actually exposes half of his back. Right? So when I'm here, I'm being tight, he starts rolling away. I let my hand slide out. I put the hard part of my bone on his how do you call it? On his throat. Look, now here I bite, I block, and I readjust. Right? And now we go to the arm triangle. You put your hands together here, and now I want to go to this side. I open my elbow to here, and I turn my hip in over here. And here is where I, like 99% of the time, step everybody here. Look, first things first. What do we have to adjust first? Our hands. I'm gonna bend my wrist and put it into his throat. You feel the difference already? No choke yet. The hip is the last part that's gonna put the pressure. If I put pressure on my hip first and then my arms, I'm gonna get tired. So what I'm gonna do first is connect, not put pressure on my hands, but connect everything. Make sure there's no space between me and his arms. And the last part now, bring your right elbow over here. Sorry, the top elbow to your bottom hip and your bottom hip to your top elbow. In other words, don't pressure, but compress. I'm doing this here. Yeah? Sometimes I made a mistake and he comes back in. Okay, then you readjust, you start doing the same thing again. Go back please. Sometimes you make a mistake and it rolls away. That's a good way to start taking the back mount. Experienced people, I cannot submit them from the back, but I do usually can submit them when they're completely stretched out. Nobody likes to be there. Everybody want to try or one more time? Yeah, I'm gonna go 5 minutes longer because the previous class was also 5 minutes longer. Okay, so I go higher, here, let your arm out when he gives it, catch, block with your shin here, block. Go over, closed. Go high, twist in, block with your knee, the hip. Wait. Start putting pressure on your shoulder. He starts to bridge and open his chin and roll away. Roll. Freeze. See, relax. I let him roll inside of me, slide a little bit. See here, put my hand correctly, block his shoulder, and now bite and readjust. Now important, look my hands. This hand goes on bottom. Don't do this, because don't do it, okay? Don't move. But if he rolls towards me now, you put me on my back. My elbow here is like a support. I open my elbow far, see? And now I'm gonna slide my hip to the ground. Bend your wrist. So I'm doing this with my hand. Bend your wrist, look over your shoulder, connect, and now top elbow to bottom hip, and bottom hip to top elbow. Let's relate that. Got it? Yeah. You can do the same thing with the Ezekiel. And do Ezekiel, never do this. Because it puts a lot of strength in your fingers and you will break your fingers if it bumps. So even if you do Ezekiel, just catch inside, see, and do the exact same thing. I never saw the use of an Ezekiel, to be honest. Because when you do Ezekiel, you can also still go with your wrist. I really don't see why it exists. Okay, go here close and that's it. Okay? Okay, look. So, any questions so far? From whom? Yes? On the neck. Okay, look. The idea is this. Look. What I actually what I believe is that it's easier to choke someone from the side than from the front or from the back. It's very hard to attack someone from the back without an angle. I always want to be more or less on your side when I choke. It's my belief. The same from the front. So what I want to have, I'm actually convinced. So when I'm here, I'm convincing you. Look, if I put pressure on your shin here, open your shin, open up, and turn to the other side. I'm trying to convince you to go there, see, and then I let go and I slide around you. And now I reconnect from over here. And I connect your wrists. And now the pressure itself, look, this is really a big one. Always when you do submissions, put the pressure, like connect your arms first. Your arms are the weakest chain in the link. The weakest link in the chain, sorry. You put pressure on your hips first and then your arms, that's why your arms get tired, or more tired than they should be. Get tight here, don't put a lot of pressure on your arms, just they always told me in the beginning, a choke, you should be willing to fight 10 minutes for a choke. A good player, you're not going to get it. And it's always a battle between who is he going to tap first or are my arms going to get tired first? A choke is little by little by little by little, but there's no quick choke, I think. And it doesn't even have to be a perfect choke. But if it builds, it's like you get like a little bit of oxygen deficit and it moves a bit more and it starts to build up and in the end you will still choke him. So here, there's one guy in my gym, like everybody in my gym I tap quickly, like pretty quick with this one. There's like one tiny guy which is like super strong. It takes me sometimes 10 minutes to choke him from here, right? Just like that. And I don't believe anyone is unchokeable. Look, so you're tight here and then you put pressure on your wrist here. You feel? I put my fingers outside and I don't know how you call this, the wrist bone, I don't know. And you turn it in and then you start getting closer. What I see, like lay down please. The mistake I see was what I told to you, like if you see movement from the outside, the choke is not good. So the submission and jiu-jitsu is ultimately taking movement away, it's not moving your opponent. The definition of a submission, of an arm lock, or from any lock in that matter, is not moving the arm, it's taking the arm to the point where he cannot move, and then add a little bit of negative movement, and that's a lock. It's not moving, it's taking movement away. Put your hands together here, open, look. What I see sometimes people doing this, they pull like that. And that's when your opponent starts to slide out. I'm creating a transition. I'm here, tight, and look up. And just little by little go in. And if it's not perfect, then probably he will turn back into me, But this makes it a little bit more tighter. And now this one is already worse than before. And he turns back to the other side. And maybe this time I will get it. Or maybe he goes belly down because he wants to get out. Okay, great. That's when I'm on the back. And often what I do now is you open your elbow, so I can a little bit from this, and I get my both feet in. One of the biggest mistakes which I see is this. Look, put yourself belly down, please, one second. Look, you're here, right? And look, it's hard for you to move, correct? Your first concern here should be not to let him get out. I really hate it when I see people in competition doing this, and all of a sudden you're back into mount or you're back on bottom, and you're here, you had pressure on the hip. You're not gonna tap, right?
Nope.
But what do people do is this, look, put your hip in the air, please. It's almost impossible, right? But what they do is this, look, they are so greedy for the choke, so they go like this, they want to catch it, that's when the guy goes up again. And that's when they start taking the hooks out, and when it's, well, at the very least, you're gonna end up back on bottom, go back. So what I like to do here, well man, I'm here already. In reality, I could just punch you down, so I don't really have to submit anyone. And if I really want to submit, I lift the just lift the shin, the head a little bit, or I can lift the elbow a little bit, make him a bit more uncomfortable. In the end, I have to convince him to look to one side. And if I get my hand in, I can choke. And if I don't have the choke, I'm also fine with that, if I win on points. Why not? And every once in a while, when I start doing this, they turn back to mount. Go back to the mount, please. Turn. That's how you catch this one again. And you can re-go for the whole thing. You could also do the arm triangle I showed you. You could also do it from the on belly. That's also an option. That's mainly it. It's almost over. It's over actually. Any other questions about something? Nothing? Okay, great. Let's take one photo, please, over here. Okay, thank you.